Yo, what's up, squad? Welcome back to another episode of Walkthrough Wednesday, where we finally jump into the project of my track with Ben NICKY, which is my first rave culture release. We are the Ravers. It's #1 still after how many weeks? It just went down so well. I thought the track would do well because it's something old, but it's also something new, right? This kind of style was something that I've heard a lot. You know, the old Showtech days. It's very much inspired by them. The sound, the very early hardstyle sounds, and nobody really tried to do a hard dance track in that way, so the idea really stemmed from that, and really from this little transition, which is just the kick drum. We actually made the drop lead from a kick drum. I know I'm a genius, right? We'll go into that, we'll go into the full drop, everything that we did, and also we'll do the breakdown next time. We'll show you the vocals because I had to chop the vocals up. MC Stretch did a great job on the vocals. If you haven't already heard the track, this is what it sounds like.
For those gates to open, the energy wall to wall, there's no feeling like it.
One of my favorite ever drops. Like this thing, I still have. I don't think I played it. Yeah, I played it one time live, during my Reveal 360 show, and I was watching the live stream, and the comments were going crazy for this one. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorite like ravey tracks that I've produced. So finally, I get to talk about it and show you exactly how I came up with it alongside Ben NICKY. Where do we start? Okay, actually, of course I need to promote something. I'm such a bad YouTuber, I always forget to promote myself. So let's promote my new track, Hooked, which is the third, yeah, I think it's the third release on my label, Rave Room. The label is just dedicated to rave tracks. We're going to take Big Room to the next level. We're not doing this 128 BPM boring ass Big Room anymore. We're going to take Big Room to the next level. If you've got demos, please check the description because you can join the Patreon to get VIP demo feedback and stuff, or you can just send it to the Gmail account, and I will check it every Monday. So yeah, please send me tracks because Ozgun and Max Eris are the guys that I collabed with on this track, Hooked, and they're two upcoming guys, and it was great to give them the opportunity as well to release a track on my label. The first guys to release a track that wasn't me, so we're going to take this label to the next level, and we're going to take the sound to the next level as well. So stay tuned for Hooked. Well, by the time you're watching it, yeah, it drops on Friday, so please support that if you can. Getting a label off the ground and beginning's pretty tough, but we have the music, we have the cool sound, so all we need is the support. Please stream it, you know, put it in your Spotify playlist, show your grandma, whatever you want to do. Any support is appreciated. There will also be wallpapers, desktop wallpapers, which look sick for the release as well if you join the Rave Room Patreon. And that's it. I'm not going to sell myself anymore. Thanks for the support as always. New sample pack coming soon. Enter the Rave Part 2 with Mike Riveri, the hardstyle version of Enter the Rave called ETR, which came out on Electric Fox. The sample pack for that is coming also at the end of May. Whew. Let's get into it. So where did the idea start? The idea started with this. It's a technique that I heard for the first time in Swedish House Mafia's set. What they did is they had a kick drum, and this kick drum started going and turned into this riser. I heard the track, I think it's the track 1. I've also done a tutorial on this, which actually allowed me to do this. I thought it would be a good thing to show, and then I ended up making the track from that technique. So go and watch the 1 tutorial on my YouTube for the full version, but I will show you what we did in short here. So we have the kick drum. So this is where the magic happens. With this, I drew it in like this. But in this section, we needed to take it even shorter and even shorter and even shorter so that we could cut apart and make like a lead from it. So I used direct wave, and I put in the kick sample. Just drag the kick sample in there, click loop type, sustained, and then I automated this end knob, which should show you in direct wave now. See how the automation is making this amount of kick smaller and smaller and smaller. So I started the automation here, and I just drew the automation to come down like this. So the kick will get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, and it would just get like to this really cool sound. That was pretty sick as well. I didn't even mean to do that, but yeah, that's pretty much what we did. So the direct wave is here. You should be able to see this automation is the key here. So let me just see if it shows you. So that's not all that's happening. That's the main feature of what's happening here. We also have the stereo imager, which makes it more mono. The pitch bend's super important as well. Bit of reverb in there as well, and some volume automation making it quieter. So it gives this impression that it's getting narrower and narrower and narrower and smaller. And then how do we make the drop lead? So this is the drop lead. It's I think a lot of people, when I released this and people I've spoke to, like how did you make the drop lead and stuff? Because it's a sound that's so simple, but it's like, where do you get a sound like this? You can look Inspire and stuff like that, but I don't think you'll get a sound exactly like this. That's what makes the track so unique and so fresh, in my opinion. Because we've made a lead that it's pretty tough to find, you know. We made a lead from a kick. So the section that I actually cut to get the lead was, I think, let me just cut this so you can actually hear it. What I did was I just cut a section here. Maybe like a section in this area. So all I did was I just cut this without the pitch, and that became a one shot. So then I dragged the one shot in to the project, and this is it. I called it lead bounce. So as you can see, that's the kick just going really, really fast, like this. So it gives the effect that it's all one, and that's what we came up with. Sounds a bit different there because there's no pitch. The pitch starts at the bottom, so it pitches all the way up, then goes back to the original pitch. So that's why it sounds a little bit more low in this version. But that was it, and honestly the sound was pretty fat, to be honest. If we look at the mix settings, we have very limited processing actually, which blows my mind. But all I had was an EQ boost in the highs, a transient master, which did absolutely nothing for some reason. This might not be the... Oh, I think this is just the pre-drop version. So on the pre-drop version, it's quite stripped back. There's not much going on. But in the drop, I think the processing was a little bit more heavy. And here is the melody. As you can hear, it's just one sound, a kick drum. That's all the lead is, just a kick drum. And there's the lead bounce there. So the processing on this, yeah, why am I shocked? So Camel Crusher, Blood Overdrive, making a massive difference. Look at the power it gets. I decided not to use Isotope Trash. EQ wise, just getting rid of the low end. Nice little boost in the low mids, get that fullness. A little bit of a surgical EQ there to try and get some nasty frequencies out. Making the sound wider. Endless Smile, I think that's for the build up. And the filter. And also what I did was I routed it into another channel, which is the lead bus. In the lead bus I have a peak controller which controls my Arts acoustic, which in the drop I'm not sure if I use. Yeah, so the reverb comes on in the drop. Let's see how much we're using. We're not using crazy amounts. -9 on the wet. Usually I'm around like -4, -3. So it wasn't a super wet drop. But it makes a massive difference. See how empty it sounds without that reverb. We have Transient Master making the sound more sharp and punchy. Delay is really important as well. That's the delay settings I used. I think it's on a time 2. So it's going to go it's just going to play off itself because I had a lot of gaps there, and because it's a reverse bass, I wanted the delay to hit on the reverse bass just to give it more depth and more fullness, you know. Just makes the track way more full if you can have your delay sitting quietly on top of your reverse bass. It just worked perfectly in my opinion. Filter, Endless Smile, again, that's Endless Smile is just for reverb and just for build-ups and stuff. Just little fancy stuff. A final EQ and sidechain. Sidechain wasn't too tight actually. Free punch 92% because the melody is pretty much all on the kick. Bum 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 bum. So I wanted it to be sidechain enough so the kick could punch through, but not too much to the point where you wouldn't hear the melody. But it slams. It really does slam. Got a little bit of reverb automation in this section as well. I'm going to exaggerate it a bit so you can hear exactly what happens. You can hear that like sweep, and it just adds a little bit more movement to the track as well. It adds swing. So that's a great little feature that I'm always doing in my tracks as well. And apart from that, the drop lead is pretty much as you heard it there. There's no other fancy stuff going on. Then we come to the drop drums, the drop sub bass, all those fancy things. I think we'll start. Well, we'll hear the track without the lead.
Switch the bass on.
One of my favorite kicks ever. This one. I love the switch. So, as we said before, the kick drum is what made the lead. So you know about the kick drum already. Processing wise, I think I added EQ. I definitely add a SSL compressor, and that's it. Just EQ and a compressor. EQ literally just giving it a bit more like fat sub, a bit more of a punch there. Make sure it's not going to clash with your sub bass though. I will say that. Top kick. Love this top kick. Oh, don't know what happened there. Double kick for some reason. Let's just get rid of that. And what else do we have in here? So we have a sub bass from my track with Reslow, which I have automated to just come on the offbeat. But the reason I automated it is pretty much so I could draw my own sidechain, because I want it to just be whoom, whoom, rather than just bump, bump. Made sure it didn't clash with this. But that's where I get my really low sub from in this track. The next layer is the main layer, like the mid bass. As you can hear, that the sub isn't crazy in this one, so I had to like play around with that and get another sub bass underneath it so it would sound full. Crazy boost on the highs there. Another boost in sections where I just wanted to bring out certain frequencies, and a side chain quite tight, and then a filter, but works quite well.